What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about NIO stock and breakdown, how the share price is looking. I'm also going to give you guys a long-term projection of how things can end up looking as time goes on, and also what's happening with NIO moving forward. I'm going to go over the deliveries just real quick, talk about how the deliveries numbers looked and what this means for the future. Before I break anything down, though, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to the market. So, looking at the market thus far, we have quite a bit of stuff coming out for next week from new earnings and such. But one thing that's still affecting NIO would be the data that just came out. We had deliveries that just came out, and things were not looking that great. So although NIO technically, we did about 10,000 deliveries for the month of January, I just want to call out the facts that technically deliveries are still down relative to what we saw in December. You can see right over here that they did about 10,000 deliveries. They're up 18% versus a year earlier, but they're down 44% compared to December when they did 18,000 deliveries, the third best month ever, excuse me. So the question is, what does this mean for NIO? Despite that, we're still on a very, very nice uptrend in deliveries. We actually saw a nice growth relative to the previous month right over here. You guys could see this. Not the previous month, the previous January. And in total, we did about 459,000 deliveries. So I would say that NIO still has a big uptrend. We're consistently doing over 10,000 deliveries per month. I'm not as optimistic about the month of February since we have Lunar New Year coming up and this could slow down sales. That's what tends to happen historically. So if sales start to slow down, this would not be the best of things, at least for NIO. However, for the long term, I'm still a very, very big bull for NIO. I think there's going to be so much excitement coming. And I see a very, very big buying opportunity that's coming. So one thing that's worth noting is that when companies like Apple gave their earnings, they actually saw slowing sales in China despite how their overall numbers were looking. So there is going to be contractions that come to the economy. There's going to be some hardships. That's the honest truth, and this is going to have a negative effect on NIO, at least for the short term. So I just want to warn everyone when looking at NIO, this thing may have even more downside potential. Let me just pull up the weekly time frame chart just to really zoom out. This is what NIO would look like on the weekly. You guys could see it's actually come down very, very hard to much lower levels relative to where it was before. And then what we could do is we could just take the low right here and actually pull up a Fibonacci retracement chart. And what you'll see is that if we start from this low down here, the all-time low, and we go back up to the all-time high, we're at a much lower level. We actually got a rejection off our 0.786 retracement area, and we're still heading in a much lower position. So I'm going to be eyeing these levels over here. Let me just pull up my chart real quick. Way back here, these are the levels that you're going to be eyeing, basically. So I'm going to be watching to see how NIO responds to these lower levels. We look very weak right now, but we're approaching the support right here at 5.6. There's also support right here in this 5.27 area to this 5 area to 4.8. So in my opinion, the chart looks bearish for the short term. Why is it bearish? The reason it's bearish is because, first off, the deliveries were not the strongest for the month of January. And additionally, there's a lot of pain coming to the EV sector, right? It's not just NIO that's down. If I actually zoom out and show you, we can even look at Tesla, right? If you look at Tesla, like I said in my previous videos, Tesla's also down quite a bit. If you look at Tesla, this thing used to be at 260 a share, 300 a share. Now we're barely down to 180. So the entire EV sector has hardships because of the high interest rate environment that we are basically in. So that's very important to note, and this is going to continue to affect NIO as time goes on. So when it comes to these levels and such, I just want to mention that NIO is in a very, very unique state, very, very unique place. I'm just going to be watching it, especially as we approach these levels. NIO is going to be approaching, in my opinion, it's going to get closer to $5. It's just continuing to sell off. And this is going to be the truth, and this is going to be the harsh reality of the situation. What else will contribute will be SPY, because in my opinion, SPY is also in the topping process. I think that SPY is going to form a top very soon between 495 and 500. We're going to likely find a top very soon. And this thing is going to start rejecting on a big downtrend soon. excuse me, guys, I apologize. One of the main reasons as to why I'm saying that is because on the daily time frame, we have a very large triple bearish divergence on the MACD, also on the RSI. On top of this thing has been pumping without any sort of pullback. So this could be signaling a pullback very soon. I think SPY will top between 495 and 500. And I think that once it finds its top, there's going to be a big reversal coming. And it's going to be coming to the market very soon. It's not what you want to hear, guys, but I think that that's the reality of the situation. The QQQ has very similar technicals to NASDAQ as well, triple bearish divergence, not to mention a double on the on the RSI. So I think the QQQ could push up into the low 430s. It could push a little bit more. Once SPIRE hits that psychological 500 area, once SPX is closer to 5,000, we're going to see a big rejection and the market's going to reverse. We're due for a healthy pullback. So I think that this could drag Tesla and the market down. We could even see Tesla come back down later. I'll talk more about that later on. But NIO, unfortunately, it's still on a strong downtrend. We're going to see how it tries to base around $5. I still think NIO has downside coming for the short term, but for the long term, I am still a big bull for NIO. I think that this is another very good buying opportunity for NIO. I would slowly buy up the shares the more it drops, and I'll be waiting for the big opportunity because eventually this thing will bounce. There's going to be a big bounce coming. It is very oversold, very undervalued. It could drop with the market for another month or so, but there's going to be a time when it bases, and eventually we're going to see a massive reversal as we get closer to the summertime, in my opinion. Why is it going to reverse? Because their deliveries will improve, their margins will improve, their earnings will improve. And on top of this, I'm very confident that they're going to get their EPS up as many analysts are projecting. They're going to be showing more growth and they're going to get closer to profitability. And as the economy starts to improve, once the recessionary environment is just past us, this will just be another opportunity once NIO starts to prevail. I have a lot of faith in the company. I'm not losing faith. I do want to warn you, there's going to be more pain coming, but I think that this is just no more than another massive buying opportunity. So I'm still a big bull in NIO. I'm not losing faith. I am like 100% aware of the fact that there's going to be downside coming. I know there's going to be downside. And the best thing we can do is just be open-minded and be prepared for it no matter what. This is similar to buying Tesla when this thing was undervalued as well. Tesla was very similar to NIO many, many years ago, 7, 8 years ago. We know that. And this is going to be the opportunity once the EV sector grows. NIO is in the center of the biggest EV sector in the world, Chinese market. And with the fact that they're still showing lots of growth and we have good deliveries numbers, as long as we consistently do over 10,000, we continue to grow as time goes on, we're going to be fine. Their margins should improve. And don't forget, they reached over 459,000 deliveries for all time. So I'm still very, very bullish long term. Short term, I'm a little bearish. So we'll see how it goes. But don't forget, there's still potential in this company. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.